Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to the Eternal Echoes podcast. I'm BİLGE. If you translate my name into English, it means wise. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we are going to explore how mythology and literature intertwine, flowing together like a river, leading us into deep reflections. Why literature, you might ask? Well, I'm a literature student. Yes, you heard it right. I study modern literature, and also sometimes I wonder if I made a mistake with my choice. I mostly think I wouldn't enjoy another file as much as I do this one. But let's back to our topic. Mythology and literature are like soulmates. Have you ever thought of it that way? Both can be complex at times, deeply profound, yet they always survive the test of time. That's why this podcast is called Eternal Echoes. That means even though myths seem lost, we can always find them again. Just like find something on Google, they keep coming back. Mythology is a very old form of storytelling that comes from ancient times. So it's almost like a very old WhatsApp message. Or if we take Generation Z, most of us don't have Facebook anymore. It's like it was sent on Messenger years ago. It starts with once there was a mighty God. Then it delves into deep philosophical questions. Myths tell the beliefs, histories, and cultures of societies, while also inspiring the foundation of literature. You might ask, what's the connection between mythology and literature? Actually, mythology was like a guiding teacher for ancient writers, poets, and artists as they sought answers to the big questions. Many writers, when asking themselves, what should mythological themes be like, end up writing books like Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. These works have such a deep impact that, in a way, we could think of them as the biggest influences of literature. Let's talk about the Iliad. Now, the Iliad is a serious work, but let me confess, when I first read it, I felt like it was a Greek mythology version of Game of Thrones. The Trojan War, everything is in conflict, and the gods come in saying, let's stir things up a little more. Of course, this is the Eternal Echoes, the intersection of mythology and literature podcast. So we've got both informative content and a touch of humor. But really, the gods are so powerful that they can sometimes determine the fate of a war. Take Athena, for example. She suddenly appears on the battlefield, telling the warriors, alright, here's a moral boost, you're alright, but I'm picking my side. It's a true goddess move. We expect the gods to say, we need some freedom. But instead, there she is, redesigning the battlefield as she sees it. It's like, start an argument and maybe I'll find a full solution. This power dynamic stems from how ancient Greek society saw the world. To them, the gods weren't just mythical figures. They influenced every aspect of life. Take Prometheus, for example. By stealing fire, he brought knowledge and culture to humanity. I won't go in too many details. Let's save some stories for future episodes, right? The gods had such an influence on the heroes' destinies that sometimes it's almost comedic. Take Achilles. His only weak spot was his heel. Yep, that's it. Imagine a hero whose only vulnerability in his heel. But when the gods step back, the warriors must decide for themselves what to do. It's like, let's send the gods on vacation so we can handle this ourselves. But of course, the war doesn't end, no one knows what's going to happen, and even the gods are confused. Odysseus' journey in the Odyssey is practically an Instagram story. Today you will get some victories over wind gods and monsters. Next stop, the dark seas. Every type of danger, every surprise. Odysseus' journey is in a way the most complicated vlog of a Greek god's life. At one point, he even says, "I couldn't have possibly endured this much trouble for just 10 years." And yet, he's still dealing with new monsters and gods. And when he finally gets home, it's like, "Okay, time for my Instagram post. My house is beautiful, but this journey shouldn't have been this hard." It's clear that Odysseus' journey is a metaphor for an inner journey. Everything is a journey, right? Thankfully, he didn't have GPS. Otherwise, I can imagine him looking at his route saying, "Wait, I wasn't supposed to end up here." If a god had told him, "Turn right here," he might have gotten home a lot sooner. Now, let's talk about Dante's Divine Comedy. This masterpiece from Middle Age is a profound reflection of the human soul's journey. Dante's Divine Comedy presents a journey from hell to heaven, a spiritual quest where he struggles to understand himself and his values. Dante's journey is not just about moving through hell and heaven, it's an inner transformation, questioning both societal injustices and religious beliefs. In Dante's journey, he descends to hell, passes through purgatory, and ultimately reaches heaven. Each phase represents stages of spiritual growth. Hell represents confronting one's sins. Purgatory is about purification, and heaven symbolizes the union of the purified soul with God. One of Dante's messages is that every person carries both good and evil, but living a virtuous life and approaching God is possible. Many authors have used mythology not just as stories, but as tools to explore depths of the human soul. Mythological figures aren't just ancient heroes, they are sometimes the heroes inside us. Humans have always struggled between good and evil, life and death. The figures in mythology reflect this struggle. Ultimately, it's always an internal battle. And spoiler alert, there's always a hero that triumphs. Mythology and literature together help us understand the universality of human experience. A myth story transcends time. Even the Greek gods sometimes stopped and get confused. It's as if they're saying, "We need a vacation too!" Perhaps that's the mystery of mythology. No matter how much time passes, heroes, gods, and monsters always have something to tell us about human nature. Today we explored the echoes of mythology and literature. Mythology and literature are like new fashion spirits of ancient times. They grow together, form a story, and someone ends up sharing it on Instagram with a hashtag like epic journey. But these stories go deep. They reflect the human condition, and yes, they can also be quite entertaining. In the next episode, we will delve into another mythological figure story. Stay tuned, because remember, every lost myth can be found again with just one word, in search of eternal echoes. Goodbye.